New Jersey.
What's going on? Wow. Hi, guys.
How y'all doing? I said, how y'all doing? Okay, we're warming up. Okay.
So, wait, so do we just do like a 40-minute bit?
All right, Ira.
Hey, Ira, so how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. Where are we from, Jersey or Queens? I don't know.
What you mean? How about Brooklyn?
Oh, shit.
Kings Highway, baby.
Oh, shit. Oh, so are there going to be questions? Is there a moderator? Or are we just moderating ourselves? Where?
How's it going?
Oh, hey.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Kia ora.
Spotlight.
Kuiamora.
Yeah. So, hi Lesley-Ann and Inbar. Thanks for coming. So on the show, you guys do bounty hunting missions together, and then Maze does the one with Dan, which was fun. Is there anyone else in the cast you would like to have like a bounty hunting mission with? And who do you think would be like your best partner in those missions?
Wow.
I feel like Ella would be hilarious because she'd be like, oh no, don't hurt him.
Yeah, I would just drug her and like make her get into it. I always really wanted to have more scenes with Lauren.
Yeah.
Just because I am obsessed with her and we love her so much. I mean, she's a detective, so I don't know how she would do in Bounty Hunt. Probably great.
She'd be great.
Yeah.
She kind of does it, except like with the rules.
Yeah.
We break the rules.
Right, we'll drug her as well.
Yeah. Everybody's being drugged. And then we're catching some bad guys. But maybe doing shots too.
Yeah, of course. That did not answer any of his questions. That's okay.
Hello. To my right.
Oh.
Hello, this is for Leslie. First thing, love you in season 1 of Spartacus, and even more in Lucifer. Now, I noticed with your characters, there's always a lot of personal growth from the beginning to the end. Example being when you played Navia, how you broke the shackles of your character, finally learning how to stand up for herself. And with Lucifer, how you developed a soul, learned how to properly feel emotion, and found love. The question is there any personal lessons you take from your acting roles, and if so, what are they?
Absolutely, and that is a great question. Thank you. I think what what Maze in particular taught me was you don't have to take up the fight for like everyone all the time, and that I think at the end of this season or the series, she realizes like Lucifer's a big boy. I don't need to be around there to protect him all the time. And I think sometimes like I'm such an empath with things, and I feel so passionately about, children get me, older people get me. I was raised to sort of feel, and it's sometimes I found myself like just taking on battles that like it's so draining for me. So it's just recognizing that like, yeah, there are times where you have to have the gloves on, but it's cool to like sit back and reserve those moments for, or reserve those fights for the issues and the people, like when you truly need to, but you don't have to be like gloves on all the time. Yeah.
Thank you so much. You guys are both great.
Thank you. Thanks.
This question is for both of you. If a Lucifer movie were to happen, where in the timeline would you like to see the story take place, and what would you like to see your characters doing during that?
Wow. That's hilarious. I just had that in my meet and greet. I was like, well, if it happens, can we do it soon? Like, not when my hips, like, are shot. Like Maze and crutches, like with the walker.
I'll carry you.
Yeah, I would totally be down for that. How and when? I mean, I loved, obviously, how we ended Maze's journey, so I would be interested to see like what happens. What does a relationship between the, you know, a demon and the first woman look like? Like what is that? And you know, yeah, I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I would absolutely love to do it. Shooting the show was one of the greatest joys of my life, so I would love to go back into it. That's a great question. I was always really curious about, you know, what took place up in heaven or down in hell. I feel like we've seen so much of what goes on Earth that I would be curious to see those spots and maybe see a little more of the backstory of Eve. I think that would be really cool. But also I would be very curious to see what happened after we ended the show. So all of it.
Like when we go back to your hometown in heaven.
Right. Exactly.
Meet the family.
Yeah, meet the fam. You know, just get cozy up in there. But I think we need like a trilogy to really explore. Yeah. Stretch it out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Michelle. I'm nervous. I can't
Hi,
believe stand
Michelle.
here. So one of my favorite things about the show that stood out to me is the queer representation in a very unique way. And both of your roles meant a lot to me. So thank you for just portraying that in a really awesome way. So my question is there any scenes or episodes that were memorable for you guys individually or together?
On that note, the sort of Mazikeen coming out episode with Linda, I think, you know, what was very special and what continues to be very special to me is that so many of our queer audience would share with me what that meant to them, because it's sort of the same conversation they would have with family members or friends or people in their lives where, you know, a demon saying, you know, I'm still me, you know, like what's changed. And I think in that moment, while it was always very important for me to include that as part of Mazikeen's story, I think after that episode, it really cemented for me like, wow, I do have a responsibility here to, as an ally and someone who has not had that experience but who portrays a character that has, to really do so with care. And I think in relationship to Eve, I didn't want to have, you know, I was very clear with the writer, with our showrunners, and we had this wonderful collaboration. And I was like, I don't want to fetishize two women, you know, in the way that society does. I want it to be a real love story. And I think that's the cool thing about Eve and Maze is that you see them get it right, get it wrong, make up, break up, you know, but ultimately realize like, hey, I really do genuinely love you, and like if you want to work on this together, I'm down. So yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Angela, and this question is for both of you. Speaking of Maze and Eve's relationship, what would you change, or what do you think they could progress, and how do you feel about the relationship?
Okay. How do I feel about the relationship? Awesome. You know what? It was so natural. We didn't have to work too hard. You know, we naturally bonded very quickly and effortlessly, and it felt really comfortable working together, that I think that probably jumped off screen as well. And I think the only thing I wish we had was maybe more screen time. You know, it would have been really nice to just dive a little deeper and explore a little, stretch it out a little more. But I think it also left a good, a good flavor and a taste for more. And we didn't beat it to the ground. So it still kind of lives freshly in everyone's minds and hearts, hopefully, at least in mine. But yeah, those are the two things.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Renee. I just want to first off say that you guys are one of the most brilliant, talented, and most beautiful women I've ever seen on TV. I'm so serious.
So nice.
My question is, so a lot of times in Netflix series and stuff like that, they might bring in a queer relationship that sometimes can seem a little bit forced to, just target a certain audience. Do you guys feel like that the writers actually really did see this turning into a love story between you two, especially because Mazakine's character is a little bit more masculine, so you could understand for her point, but Eve's character is a little bit more feminine. Do you feel like they really did tailor it to your guys' characters?
I think, like me, May's, that sort of toughness, I think I access my masculinity and my femininity all the time. I think to say that as a woman that is sort of, like I said before, I was very careful not to play into any tropes or, fetishize this relationship. I just think that Mazakine is someone who, she possesses both, but maybe presents that way but I don't think she sees herself in that way. There's a lot of femininity in her. I wanted the writers to really honor, this audience and this particular relationship. One, because I also know that the actress I was going to be working opposite, like having done scenes with Inbar, like she'll go there with you, and there'll be moments that are tender, there'll be moments that are like fireworks, and when you're, what is like that love look like? And I didn't want to label it, either. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I think within the frame and the time that we had on screen to do what we had to do, because that's the other thing is we didn't get like a Maze and Eve episode where we really got to like do a bunch of stuff, but I think in the time that we got to do it, I think we did honor that. How do you feel?
I actually had an interesting experience with, the love story. When I came in to have my first chat with the creators of the show, they basically, presented the storyline for Eve as much as they could have shared with me. And they mentioned, they were like, and we're thinking of maybe having you, and I'm like, what are you, just spit it out, what is it? And they're like, with, maybe they'll end up with Maze. And I'm like, okay, and they're like, you've seen Lesley-Ann, right? I'll never forget these, they were like so excited, they wanted me to get like hyped up. And I mean, of course I've seen you, you're gorgeous, but that has nothing to, I haven't met you, I didn't know how you were gonna be to work with. And I remember, being very, very honest. And I said to them, I think that to introduce one storyline where Eve is following a relationship to fulfill herself, to feel complete, and then end the season with a similar story is going to be, harsh. And I thought it was very important to showcase that any person, a man or a woman, they don't have to rely on another person in their lives to feel complete, to feel fulfilled, to feel happy. And Thank
No
you.
one's responsible for your happiness except you.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And so, you know, they gave a little taste at the end of season 4 where there's a spark there, but it was very important for me that we won't get to really see it all the way through until later in the show. And I'm really happy with how that turned out. And I think the journey of finding herself and finding her core without any outside help from another person really paid off. So.
Thank you. That answered my question perfectly.
Hi.
Hi.
My name's Sherry. And I want to say first that you two were such strong, badass women in the show that it was just really inspiring to me to see how strong you were. And also you're strong in real life. And I follow Leslie, and she always has these causes that she stands up for that I love. But my question isn't quite so deep. You have some amazing outfits that you wear in the show. And Lesley-Ann, I think I'm wearing the most or the least revealing outfit that you wore in the show.
Oh, the Ella's t-shirt?
It's the from the rave scene in
yeah,
Blue Balls.
Yeah. Ella's t-shirt where I'm like trying to dress like Ella.
Yeah.
Which was so hard. I was like, what the fuck? Like, it felt so weird to me.
So I was just wondering if you had a favorite outfit that you liked on the show to wear for both of you.
Well, I just auctioned one of my faves and I sent it to a fan. And I want to thank anyone who donated to Mana's cause. For those of you, thank you. Who don't know, my friend's little 8-year-old boy is battling brain cancer. And I just rallied the Lucifer fans and gave the outfit that, the very last scene of Lucifer with the motorbike where I say goodbye and I give him. But I own another one, and it's the red cape with where we fight, where Eve's like, I have the full costume at home, and every now and then I whip it out for the hubby. Just making dinner.
That's awesome.
What's yours?
Oh wow. Well, I didn't get to keep any of the big ones. I got to keep a few pieces, which I love, and I don't fit into anymore. But I guess my favorite one was the S&M. Oh yeah. It's like, what was
I'm sure it was everyone else's favorite too.
It was like a corset, leather, and a whip, and everyone hydrate. Like, yeah, that was a fun one. Yeah, and I had a hat. Woo! I love that. I love that one.
Thank you. Hi there.
Hi, my name is Quincy.
Hi, Quincy.
Through watching just how much of a badass Mazikeen is and how she doesn't take shit from anybody and how Eve grows into her own, it's really made me confident. Like, I've been told I dress like Mazikeen a little bit. I think I'm much more over the top than Mazikeen.
I don't know, I feel like we'd vibe together, girl. You know, hit the town.
I wish, that'd be so fun. But I was wondering I asked this to Amy earlier, but I want to know what your guys' answers are. What was the worst part of filming? What was like the worst part that you thought that you just hated, if there was anything?
For me, and it's not the show, it was just when I had my son, it was hard. It was really hard, and you know, I went back to work 6 weeks after I had him on camera with these giant boobs that I don't have anymore. And just dealing with hormones and mom guilt and am I doing it right? And